Okay guys, this is something I've been thinking about for a while now. I just recorded a video before. I'm still fucking tired. Not from the video, but from late night. So sorry about that if I'm not entirely coherent. Anyway, I had this thought a while ago, and in Australia we have this recurring issue. Not so much a recurring issue, but an ongoing issue, which we kind of just imagine isn't there sometimes, and it grows. Well, the government likes to imagine that it isn't there, and they're like, it's not a priority. We'll focus on detention centres and other immigration when the humans immigrate onto Australian property. I didn't know I could make that voice. I'm gonna use this voice now, cunt. Now look me dead in the fucking eyes. This is about cane toads. Alright, so cane toads basically were introduced a long time ago, actually. Should get the exact fucking date. I think it was like 70 something years ago. I don't know. But cane toads were introduced a long ass time ago. Well, not really biologically a long time ago, but you know, by human terms a long time ago. We've got people still alive who were here when the cane toads were first brought here. And it was like they brought 100 cane toads from Hawaii. Now, I don't know what they were called in Hawaii, but the scientific name is Bufo marinus. Now, what we had a problem with cane beetles. Cane beetles would, assuming this is your cane, your sugar cane. We make sugar out of sugar cane in Australia. I don't know how you Americans make your sugar, but it's different, I assume. So, the beetles would fly over, land on the cane, about 2/3 of the way up, I think, and burrow in, lay the larvae in there, fly away. The larvae then eat their way inside the cane, and just kills it from the inside. That was fucking killing everything. Cane industry. Everyone was bitching like, oh god, it's such a fucking terrible thing. Which I understand would be a terrible thing, because back then, you know, your entire life depended on your sheep, your cattle, your livestock, and your crops. If you couldn't, you know, if something fucks up on any of those, and that's your major export as a farmer, then you're fucked. That's why the Tassie tiger was completely driven to extinction in 50 years, because it would eat our sheep, and we were like, well, that's the Tassies, you know. Tassies. Anyway, Tassies are gonna hate me now. You still have Tassie devils, so at least you're proud about that. Basically, we made the dumb fucking decision to bring these cane toads over, not thinking about the fact that cane beetle is here, cane toad is here on the ground. There's the ground, there's a cane toad. Bulbasaur's cane toad. That's a cane toad. Here's cane beetle. I don't know how the fuck they expected cane toad to eat cane beetle or cane larvae. Cane beetle larvae. So, it was a dumb fucking decision to start with, but they had to do something, so it was kind of just one of those rush decisions, whatever will make the people happy. So they brought these cane toads over, released them out into the wild, and the cane toads were free as fuck, and enjoyed life in Australia. Mainly because they don't need water as much as our frogs do, so they're more suited to the arid environments, and they can go much further away from a water source than our frogs and green tree frogs and other amphibians. So the issue arises where these things are fucking poisonous, and just there aren't any poisonous frogs in Australia. There's only toads. Oh, there might be some, but you know, not enough to hurt a goanna. But now we're finding goannas with cane toads hanging out their mouths, because the cane toad would attack goanna would attack cane toad, thinking cane toad is simply just a frog. And then cane toad goes, bitch, please, and fucking sprays his poison all over and kills the fucking goanna. Kind of pointless though, because it's like, if I die, you're coming down with me kind of survival technique. Doesn't really work out, but I'm not going to argue with the cane toad. Anyway, so pretty much ever since they were declared a pest and people realised that they weren't actually eating the larvae and they were more focused on, you know, fucking up our ecosystems and plague proportions, you know, man, fucking plague proportions. You need to come to Queensland and find, I don't know, go out bush or something, or like even a school oval in the middle of the night, bring a spotty, and you see these little kind of triangle shapes. That's a cane toad sitting up. Fucking everywhere, man. And so pretty much since then, we've been getting our cricket bats and our golf clubs. And for those of you in America who've seen The Simpsons, the snake whacking day, you know, imagine that only every night with cane toads. So, really fun, man. But recently the RSPCA has, oh not recently, for a while now, they've been going on about how, you know, it's very inhumane to beat the shit out of a cane toad, which is understandable. But their alternative is, because they're cold-blooded, they'll slow down and die if they're put in a freezer. So what we have now is all these people putting on, you know, surgical gloves and going out into the fucking bush and shit with buckets, and little kids saying, "Mommy, I'm gonna help the environment," and the mums and all like, "Yeah," and then their dad's on his fucking Apple piece of software shit, and the kids all, the son is all like, you know, fucking devious about that shit. And, you know, you catch all the cane toads, you abduct the bastards, you put them in a bucket, little girl is swinging you about all night, like, holy fuck, and all the other cane toads are in there. Cane toads don't find, you know, companionship in other cane toads. If anything, it's like when a bunch of bears meet, you know, except for when they're mating. Which is also like when bears meet, but still, off topic. Anyway, so they're swung around by a little 6-year-old for about an hour, and eventually moral family goes back to the house and puts them all in a plastic bag and God knows what, ties it off and puts it in the freezer, and you know, takes them back out in 2 weeks' time. It takes 2 weeks or something like that, a few days before they're frozen enough to be dead. It's like, whoa, shit. I don't know if it's a few weeks, I think it's a few days, something like that. Anyway, and I don't know, if I were a cane toad, this is just me, and if I were hopping about doing my cane toad shit, you know, eating bugs and under lights and fuck and, you know, waiting for a goanna to eat me or something, I'd much rather die because of some fuckhead with a golf club just goes smash, you know, cracks the back of your neck and whatnot and just kills you instantly. Or, yeah, knocks you unconscious, then kills you, or does whatever. Just basically beats the shit out of you with a golf club. You're not going to survive the first 2 hits at most. Even if he's a fucking wuss and his swing, you know. Golf actually helped my swing with cane toads up. Motherfucker. Anyway, I need to write some jokes for this. This is a really good piece of material that could use jokes, but I don't have any jokes. I'm just not that funny. Anyway, so I'd much rather that than freeze to death. I don't know about you guys or, you know, RSPCA, but in the comment section below, what do you guys think? Would you rather die from, I don't know, an alien just crushing you, whack, or, I don't know, a paintball gun loaded with marbles, slingshot with a firework, dipped in kerosene, lit on fire, what other weird shit have I seen? Strapped a sparkler bomb, you know, that's where you got a whole heap of sparklers, bundle them up, strap a cane toad on. Incineration, my friends. Would you rather be beaten to death by a man with a large thong? Now, I've got very big thongs. One sec. Thongs for the feet, alright? You wait there, motherfuckers. Oh, shit. Here it is. These are the thongs I use to get from A to B. double pluggers. That's fucking quality right there. If you wanna smash a cane toad, you gotta do that shit right. And so, would you rather be sicked on by a dog? We used to have a dog before I was born. My dad used to have a dog, Bear was its name, and it bit a cane toad once, fucking frothed up and shit, and was sick and horrible, and it was like, oh god. Eventually, when it got better, it got around to this thing with cane toads that, I don't know which one it was. There was one of them that got sick, and another one that didn't, and I don't know which one it was, but one of them would just paw them, like find a cane toad on the ground and just use his paws and just woke the dog up. And the other one would go up to the back of them and just go bite them and crack the back, shake them about and shit like fucking T-Rex on Jurassic Park, and fucking break them apart. Only in the back though, because it knew the poison was at the front. So I think this was the one that got sick. It knew the poison was on the nape of the neck, so it would detect from the back, break the back, and apparently there'd be all these cane toads, you know, all over the lawn in the next morning, and they'll, you know, have these legs, you know, sprawled out behind them, and they'd be trying to paw along on their front legs like this, more or less, and you know, and turns out their back would be broken. So those dogs got a bit of sadistic pleasure out of that. Yeah, if you were a cane toad, how would you like to die? Oh, lawnmower. This is an interesting story, because I was hit by a cane toad limb from a lawnmower. You see, the lawnmower was going along, then a cane toad was in the way. And being dumb fucking cane toads have no fear of man, or more or less not much fear of man. They just sit there while you aim ready your shot, you know. You people should know this if you're in Australia. Anyway, what had happened was, I think it was a front forelimb or something, came out, zhoo, 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 and I was like, oh shit. And it scratched my lip, made it swell up and bleed horribly. And I ran shitting myself inside, because I didn't know what had happened. I thought maybe a rock or something. I knew a cane toad had been ripped up, so I don't know, maybe I was thinking, shit, I've got cane toad poison in me, I'm gonna fucking die. And I was like trying to wash that shit out. I've never washed, you know, any part of my body more vigorously than I washed that lip when I thought I was fucking poisoned by a cane toad hand. Cane toad's revenge, I could call that a bit of karma for standing there and not going, no! Unhand that animal! But the animal's never handed. Another cool story actually, me and a mate of mine, he's got these shitty golf clubs. They're actually quite good golf clubs, but he got them for free. So yeah, he's like, yeah man, let's just go hit stuff with golf clubs. And I'm like, yeah, alright. So we hit everything from cane toads to fucking pieces of dried mud that were just, he's got like a gully out behind his place, so there's all these pieces of fucking dried mud, and we just hack into them, like, just for the fun of it. I don't know what we got out of it, but it was seriously awesome. We were getting out, smashing that shit. I don't know what grade we were, but we were venting everything. After that, I was like, as calm as a Hindu cow, my friend. I was like, calm. I am so fucking happy right now. Anyway, also, so what had happened was, I think a while later, we stayed up late one night, and went out at, I don't know, like 11:30, and just beat the shit out of cane toads. So yeah, Mama, I'm just going over Ben's place. Me and some mates, we're gonna have a movie marathon and shit. And she's like, okay, you kids do whatever you want. I'm like, thanks, Mom, because she doesn't really like to know about the cane toad stuff. And we got into them. We actually kept a tally on who did how many cane toads, smashed them. It came to... He started out flogging me, and I was beating him for a bit. Then he absolutely smashed me. Then I caught up again, and he went further ahead. And then, in like the final 3 cane toads, beat him by 1 cane toad. 1, on the way back home. It was like walking along, and then this cane toad was just hopped in front of me, and I'm like, shots! Then I won. It was very good though, and we got 53 in that night. So he would have gotten 26, and I got 27. I don't know, I just remembered 53 dead cane toads. And I remember me, that guy, I don't know if I've said his name yet or not, I don't know. Fuck it. Me, Ben, and other guy, I know he doesn't want his name on there. But yeah, we went around one night along the gully. It was kind of wet in the gully, so they were kind of breeding. And just smashed them, man. We must have gotten like 100 or so in that night. Like heaps of cane toads. We got up in the morning, we were like checking it out, walking along, and there's all these fucking dead cane toads. And occasionally we'd like hit straight down into the water and it'd splash up everywhere. Ben, he had all this black algae and shit all over his face. It was like, he looked kind of like one of those face paints on Black Ops. Anyway, so I've got a feeling that I'm running out of battery, just by the fact that I've been talking way too long. So yeah, if you were a cane toad, how would you like to die? And also, how do you kill cane toads? Or how would you like to kill a cane toad best? The most interesting or creative comments... Oh, fuck, I'm stealing that off RBZ. Oh... Yeah, that'd just be interesting to read. Give thumbs ups to your favourites and stuff. I don't know if I'll give it a shout out in the next video, but I probably should. I don't know, I'll see what I can do. Depends on if anyone comments. It'd be great if you guys could comment. Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna see if I can do that political voice again. They're fucking cane toads. Oh, fuck. Okay. We need strong regulation on this whole cane toad bullshit. You see, you start out with just the fucking cane toads. Pretty soon, we'll be bringing in fucking tigers to sort out the dingo problem. You do not want tigers in fucking Australia, because that's like competing with our other #1 top predator, the fucking drop bear. Remember, kids, when you come to Australia, especially Townsville, because that's like the hot spot of drop bear activity, rub Vegemite behind your ears. That shit fucking deters them miles away. Have fun, kids. I sound like I've got lung cancer. Kids, go. Pass legislation for the cane toads to be slain. I really like the air rifle idea. Not the air rifle idea. The paintball gun with marbles in it. That's pretty sexy. Right, see yous.